Hello, Valor Tech. So what we're going to do in this recording is we're going to go over File Manager, and it's going to be kind of a raw recording because I don't have a lot of time to edit. I want to get it out there for you guys quickly. And so if there's an odd cough, an odd background sound, please forgive me. We're going to go through the details of how to use File Manager, not every last thing, but enough so that you know how to use it. And we'll cover the same things we went through in lecture today. Okay, let's get started. So those of you who have used Google in the past, you may have set bookmarks for some of your favorite pages. Quick access right here works just like that. It lets you bookmark a directory. So let's, for instance, go into my local disk, go to users, and I want to make this folder, so I don't have to type everything in, a quick access folder. So once I have this highlighted like this, you click once to highlight it. I'll hit pin to quick access. Boom. There it is in quick access. So let's see, what do we want to do next? Let's look at the four ways to copy a file. Okay. So let's see, what can I do here? Let's go in here, find a file. Yeah, we can do this. We'll use a downloaded Minecraft. No, that's Forge. Downloaded Minecraft map. Okay. So, first way, highlight it, press Control and then C. Hold down Control while you press C. And then I'm going to drop this in on my desktop. No. Let's put it in. Let's put it in Documents. Okay. And to paste it, Control V. And there it is. So Control C, Control V. That's method number one. I'll delete it. This is the back key here. What it does, it goes to the last directory you were looking at. So if I click on this, it takes me back to where I was just before. There's a back and a forward button. Back button moves you to the last place you were. Forward button moves you to the next place you've been. So this time again, we're going to look at base race. And we're going to look at the second way to copy things. Second way to copy things. Once your file's highlighted, right click on it. Copy it. Then we're going to go to Documents. And you click out an empty space here someplace, anywhere. Like here, and you paste it. And there it is. Let's go back again. Okay, third way to do it. Use the copy to. Once this is highlighted with a single click, you press copy to. And in this case, actually, Documents is right there. Or you can use choose location. If it isn't listed up here, use choose location. Let's do it this way, because it's a little bit harder. So there's my Documents folder, but we're actually going to go all the way through because a lot of times it won't be that obvious. Okay, I'm in CoolDad, and once it has the folder you want in here, copy. Now if I go back, Base Race Nostalgia is right down here. And the last way we'll do this. So we'll go back, back. Wait. Nope. And it lost its way. Base Race Nostalgia. So we'll highlight that. And the last way to do this is to left click and drag it over to my documents folder. Now you see right here, it says move documents underneath my arrow. If I press the control key, it'll say copy. So I just let go of the left mouse button and it will be in my documents folder. There it is. All right, so let's go back. No. Here. If I click on, just so you know, if I click on this PC, it gives me my system folders and it gives me the drives that actually have something in them. In here, it'll tell you the total size of the drive and how much free space you have left. Okay, but let's go to drive C. And let's look up here at file. I'm going to focus on this one because there's some things to watch out for in here. So when I click file, change folder and search options, let's look what's in here. This first one is just how you look at folders. That's cool. Here, we're looking at the view. And you can either reset folders, apply to all folders, or just some. But the one I want to point out here is hidden files and folders. By the way, there's a lot of stuff here you can check and uncheck. You can play around with it. Just make sure that once you're done and you kind of like the way you had it before, click on Restore Defaults. It'll take you back to where you started. Hidden files. I want to point these out. I'm going to select Show Hidden Files, Apply, OK. By the way, you can only do this if you're the admin for your machine. If you're not the admin, well, you're kind of stuck. So now, in my local disk, suddenly I have these kind of dark yellowish folders and some lighter colored folders. The lighter colored folders are the ones that are normally hidden. And one of the reasons Windows doesn't want you to look in there is because that's where a lot of the program data is. Stuff that if you, how should I say, accidentally moved or deleted something, your system would suffer significantly. Also, as I go to, where am I here? There. All of a sudden I see app data here. Now app data is where app data roaming is where you find, for example, my Minecraft folder. And if you double click on this, you'll see this is where all your mods go. Like Lucky Block, there's a Lucky Block mod installed right now. I have some others in here, Instant Massive Structures. When I download a map, I stick it here and save. So, you know, if I want the Mario Kart and Minecraft version 1.5 map, it's here and save. And this is where I would drop the files. Saves Minecraft. Screenshot texture packs. Yeah, texture packs go here if you have them. And that's about that. So we're going to go back now. And we're going to go to File. We're going to return things to the way they were. View. we go. Apply. Say OK. Let me check one more thing out. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I'm going to go back to my C drive. By the way, if you can't see your C drive, a lot of times it's because this arrow is pointing to the right, which means it's not expanded. So if I click here, all of a sudden my C drive shows up. Don't need to see the rest there. All right, let's go to home. So we went over the copy. We went over some of the gotchas there. Let's see here, new folder. Okay. Let's look at new folder. How do we create one? You click on new folder. This shows up down here. It's in blue, and you give it a name. I've now got a folder in my root directory of C called Fred. Type it in, press enter. Fred's real. Fred's live. Now I'm going to delete him. I need to get someplace that actually has files. What's in documents? A lot of stuff from applications. Oh, yes. Okay, let's do this. Back to C drive. If I want to know the properties of my C drive, you can click this guy. It'll tell you how many gigabytes it can hold and how many are free versus how many are used. That's kind of handy to know, especially if every once in a while you want to check to make sure you're not using most of your drive space. Above, if your used space gets above about 70-75%, things can start to slow down. All right, let's look at share. So I promised I'd show you this. So what we're going to do is, for example, if I have a DVD, actually it's a CD, DVD player down here. I've currently got a music CD in there. CDA, CD audio tracks, that's the file type. Now, we talked about ripping and burning. So if I go over here to Windows Media Player, this is the Eagles' Greatest Hits. It's got 10 songs on it. I can click these guys. Let's say I click 5 of them. And here's my RIP CD button. What this does is everything I've checked, it'll rip it to my hard drive. Where will it put it? It'll put it in my music folder here. If I don't specifically tell Windows where to put things, it'll put all my documents here. It'll put all my music here, all my pictures here, and all my videos here. Probably my saved games there as well. Now, when I've got a set of files that I want to burn to disk, here's my burn to disk button. There's also one in Windows Media Player. I tend to use this one a little more, and we'll deal with that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about zip. By the way, name, date modified, type, size. I tend to like my detailed view, in part because as I move over to this edge, I can stretch things out so I can read everything. So let's look at Minecraft maps. Let's stick with base race. Let's say I want to send somebody the entire base race map. I can send them, in here, there's a file. I can send them that. all the data. I have to send them all of these individually. Or what I can do is I can click on the top one, hold Shift down, and select them all. A slightly faster way to do that is to click the top one, hold Shift down, and click the bottom one. Done. If you want to select some of them, but not all of them, for example, I want to select data, dim1, region, icon, level old. All I did there was I held the control button down while I was clicking through these guys. So Shift selects everything. Control selects just a few. So now that I've selected all of those, I'm going to create a zip file by single clicking on this. Now I have a zip file with this name. If I want to rename that, I can use rename here, or now I want you to watch this. I click it once, count to 2, click it again, and then it highlights the whole thing. Now I can rename it. Test. So now I have a zip file called test. If I want to look inside that zip file, oh no, it's going to pull up WinZip. That's all right. Yeah, it's going to try and open it with WinZip. Sorry about that. If you look inside here, all of these files are in there. And if I want to unzip it, it's a simple matter of, hit this, click on it, hit this button again, and it made another zip file. It works better if I don't have WinZip installed. Trust me, you can extract it. So when you compress things and you put them into one file, it's called zipping or compressing. When you're pulling them out, it's called extracting. Let's see. You can set advanced security for files. Let me take a quick look, see if there's anything really important in there, who I'm sharing with, auditing, etc. Oh, one thing I should note. My son and I like to play the same maps with each other on Minecraft. And so what we'll do, rather than handing a flash drive back and forth between us, we can take a map, Parkour Masters, and hello, share. Oh, it's because this computer isn't on. We can share with specific people. You can pick somebody's name. If he's on, he'll show up here. If he's not, he won't. But that's what share is there for. We have a folder for the two of us, and I can just put a file there. He can move it over to his system. It's just a lot easier than managing flash drives. Let's go to view. Okay, view. Back to here. So I'm not going to worry about the panes. Extra large icons look like that. Large icons, smaller. Medium icons, smaller still. Small icons you can barely see. List. It looks like that. Details is what I had. Tiles looks like this. And there we have content. I tend to like details because a lot of times I'm sorting things. And if I'm set for details, I don't have to use the sort tool over here. If I want things in alphabetical order, I just highlight name up here, click once. Everything's in, well, now it's in reverse alphabetical order. Back in alphabetical order, here you go. You want reverse alphabetical order, just click again. The same with date modified. A lot of times I'm trying to get rid of files, or I'm trying to find the most recent version of a file. So I'll click Date Modified. This has it reverse sorted now. Actually, this has it reverse sorted. 2018 is here. This is an application. That's an XML document. No problem. So what it does for all my folders. Yeah, go ahead. Make a liar out of me. Yeah, it has the oldest on the bottom. And now, let me see if I'm right. Yeah, okay. XML, so it sorts them by type and by date. And that makes sense. A lot of times also when I'm cleaning flash drives at the end of a trimester, I'll click on type because I'm trying to get rid of all the scratch projects. And so it'll just go through and sort things by type, put them in alphabetical order. It allows you to fairly easily find a file type. Now, if I want to search, let me go back to C. If I want to search for something on my drive, all right, simplest way, if I want to find all of the temporary files that end in .tmp, because I'm kind of curious if they're all getting deleted or not. So I start with a wildcard. I use star and then .tmp. Say OK, and the little green bar works its way across as it's looking for temporary files in my entire hard drive. So now you see this search tool comes up here when I've told it to search. Now you can also just try typing TMP over here, but then it'll give you every file that ends in TMP and every file that has TMP in the name, which can be a problem sometimes, especially when you do a mass delete. If I'm just looking for a file type, I'll just use star dot whatever the file type is. Okay. I'm going to stop there for a second. Stop. Go back to my C drive. Now we're going to do a search again, but this time for all the Microsoft Word documents. So that would be star.docx. Tell it to go. And while that's working, let's cover a few other things. You can select current folder, in which case, well, C drive is a huge folder, but I've got selected here all subfolders. If I just search in this folder, for example, it's only going to look in that folder. All the folders that are in that folder won't be searched. So for example, yeah, it's not coming up with anything. If I go here and I search for something and I use just current folder, it's only going to look at these, this, and this, unless one of these folders happens to have the letter combinations in the name. If I click on subfolders, all of these folders and any folders in those folders get searched as well. So yeah, it takes a little longer, but I prefer to pick all subfolders. Date modified, that refers to this date over here. So I can search on a document file that was written in the last year, last month, last week, yesterday, today, which can be kind of useful if there was if I have a clutter of documents in a folder because I haven't organized my disk very well. It makes it a little easier if I know Did I save it in the last week? Did I save it in the last month? So I can limit my search in that way. Kinds of files. It'll search by kind. It'll search by size. Now this is actually kind of handy, especially if your hard disk is getting kind of full. I tend to go through and search for all my gigantic files. Okay? So I have some recordings in here that are gigantic, over 128 megabytes. Okay, so there's a bunch in here. If I search for the huge ones between 16 and 128, a different set come up, and so on. This allows me to get rid of them fairly quickly and save my hard disk space. You can save searches if you want to use the same kind of search again. For example, if every trimester I want to search for all the scratch files in my USB drive, which could be F, for example, drive F, I can save that search. Or if there's something in particular that took me a long time to figure out that I think I'm gonna search for regularly, that's what I save a search for. Honest truth, not that many people use it, but you should be aware of it. Okay, let's get back to C drive. You see where it says Drive Tools up here? Look, one thing to note, if I just click on this PC, Drive Tools will show up. But if I don't have one of these drives selected, there's no Drive Tools. So you have to select the drive. Now, I can rename a drive from local disk to Fred, for example. I can open a drive. I can look at its properties. And do me a favor. If you ever open Drive Tools, Manage, this one, stay away from this. I don't think you can format it if you don't have admin rights. But just in case, stay away from buttons that say format, because what formatting will do is it will wipe your hard disk clean. Everything will be gone. Everything on that drive will be gone. So stay away from that one. Cleanup is actually kind of handy. It's Windows tool. You only need to click it once. And what it does, it kind of goes through and it's looking for certain things that normally there's some wasted space in there. And so, yeah, I've got about 3/4 of a gigabyte. Normally, anytime I have more than half a gigabyte in there, I check this about once a month. I'll clean it up. And it'll work its way through there. And it's going through its calculations. Must be a lot of files someplace. Note also, this is the place where temp files, I guess it didn't like that one. Wow, temporary Windows installation files. I need to get rid of that. And delivery optimization files. I won't worry about that. And Windows Update Cleanup. All of a sudden, all this new stuff comes in. Windows Upgrade log files. Yeah, let's just run this. Wow, 9 gig. Let's run it. Clean my hard drive. Now there could be a lot of temp files, and sometimes this thing can bog down, deleting them one by one. I guess not today. It would be nice if it showed you what it was doing in the background. Okay. Well, cleanup goes and does its thing. I'm going to click on optimize over here. Are you done? Okay. I want you working on the hard disk while I'm doing this. So, optimizing drives. When a file gets saved on your hard disk, it's not, the whole file doesn't always get put in one place. What the hard disk typically does, it searches around a particular track and it says, do I have any space on this track? If there's some space on that track, it puts as much of your file as it can there and then starts leaving a trail of breadcrumbs to the next open space, and it puts the next portion of your file there. And sometimes it can be in like 5, 10, 15 different places, all with a little trail of breadcrumbs between them, not literally. And so when you want to use that file, the computer has to find all those places, put it back together before it uses it. And after a while, that fragmentation is what it's called, can really slow things down. So what I'm going to do here is analyze my, okay, so first of all, solid state drives don't have tracks. Don't have to worry about fragmenting your files. Nice thing about SSDs. Regular hard drives like this one, we're going to analyze it. Wow, I'm 0% fragmented. Cool. Not going to worry about it. I usually check this about once a month. And when I check it, if I'm over 5% fragmented, just good habit, I tell it to optimize over here. Click on it once, but only if you're not going to use your computer for the next couple of hours, because sometimes it can take that long to defragment the whole drive. Okay, close this. We talked about that. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. Done. See you tomorrow.